Hey guys, Tilly here at San Diego Comic-Con with screenwriter extraordinaire, Mr. Gary Whitta. You'll know his work from The Book of Eli, After Earth. He's one of the writers on Star Wars spin-off Rogue Squadron. And
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Bugger.
Correcting you already, Tilly. Doing your job for you.
And writer of this book, Abomination. Which
you're holding upside down. What is going on with you today?
Which is on the shelves now. Gary, how are you doing? I'm sorry.
I'm very well. This is off to a brilliant start, and I want to congratulate you on your hosting duties so far.
All right, first question.
Yes.
How does Rogue One end?
Hopefully better than this started, but we'll see. And obviously anything related to Star Wars, I of course am not allowed to talk about in any capacity. Yes, I did work on Rogue One. Very excited about it coming out December next year. But apart from that, that's about all you're going to get.
How frustrating is it with people like me constantly asking about it?
Look at my face. How frustrated do I look? Very. No, I mean, it comes with the territory. Obviously, working on, in a universe like Star Wars is a tremendous honor, tremendous privilege, and obviously what comes with that is, people are going to have a lot of interest, a lot of questions. I had to, even the fact that I was working on it, I wasn't able to tell anyone for a really long time. It was a very hard secret to keep, but I just about managed it. Now, some of the more details of the film are coming out, and that's really, really cool, but obviously I have to stay very much on the sidelines and wait until someone tells me that I'm allowed to say something, which hasn't happened yet. So I just basically kill time like this.
Are you as excited as we are, though, about a young Harrison Ford movie happening as well? Sorry, young Han Solo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this whole anthology track that they've come up. And I don't say that just because I worked on one of them, but I think it's a brilliant idea, not just to continue the Skywalker saga with, episode 7, 8, 9, and, however many they may keep going on with, but to be able to spin off and do other stories in the Star Wars universe where you're not necessarily constrained by the core group of characters or where it takes place in the galaxy or where it takes place in the timeline. Rogue One, for example, takes place before the original Star Wars. The young Han Solo movie, I'm guessing, will take place even further back than that in the timeline. So they've given themselves this great flexibility to jump around in the Star Wars universe, to just pick interesting characters, interesting situations, interesting stories that haven't yet been told, and really flesh them out. So I think it's terrific what they're doing.
Yeah, and we've also got Star Wars Rebels happening, which is awesome on the
telly.
Yes,
I tell you something, if you're not already watching Star Wars Rebels, you should totally be watching it, because it is some of the best Star Wars stuff, I think, that has been made since Return of the Jedi. It's like really classic old school Star Wars. They tell great stories. Again, it's set a few years before A New Hope, so you're right in there, that great kind of TIE Fighter, X-Wing, kind of the formation of the Rebel Alliance. It's a really great, interesting piece of the Star Wars timeline. Terrific characters. I'm actually doing a bit of work on the upcoming season. I'm writing a couple of episodes, so it's really fun to get to play with, some well-known characters. It's terrific. Like I said, don't let the fact that it's like an animated show make you think oh, this is Star Wars for little kids or whatever. It's not. It's really badass. You should be watching Star Wars Rebels.
And can you tell us what your shows are about?
No. Okay. Is the short answer.
That guy's got to try.
Do you want the long one? The short answer is no.
Fair enough. So Comic-Con, what brings you here?
So I'm actually really glad to be here this year. This is the first year that I've been here since my daughter was born 3 years ago. I turned into a dad, which means I very rarely leave the house anymore, and I don't really do this kind of stuff. This is probably, I would think, maybe my 7th or 8th Comic-Con overall. I'm just slightly old school enough to remember it before it got crazy big with all the movie studios coming in and turning it into the kind of carnival atmosphere that you see here today. This is my first time here in 3 years, and I usually don't come unless I've got something to do. Like if I've got something to promote or there's a panel that I've asked to be on, but I don't really come just to poke around anymore. This year, however, very fortunately, I've got this novel that I just wrote, which just came out, Abomination, and I did a panel here to promote it early. We did a couple of events like signing the book and stuff. I'm here talking to you. Like this is again, I'm out of the house. I'm 500 miles away from my family responsibilities. I get to go to fun parties and give away some free copies of the book, and it's fun also just kind of wander around the Star Wars area and see. I tell you what I've noticed. Star Wars has obviously always been here, right? Like Star Wars is never going to go away. Even in the years where they weren't really making the films anymore, Star Wars just constantly sticks around. It's always got a presence here at Comic-Con. But this year, with Episode 7 coming out and the new anthology movies and Star Wars Rebels and everything else that they're doing, you can really feel that it's back. Like it's back in a big way. Like Star Wars is now again, it's current, it's relevant. They've got a huge Star Wars area over there with some of the stuff from Force Awakens, which I think is like some of the most highly trafficked area at Comic-Con. Like it's back in a big way.
Is there anything you're excited to see while you're here, or is it just what's strolling around?
I got to see a couple of things that I wanted to see. Like, I was able to sneak in early before it got too busy. I really wanted to see the Batman armor from the new Batman Superman movie, which looks totally cool. The Batman, it's just so great to be able to get up really close to these things that you usually only see on a movie screen and see just how amazing they look in real life. The armor, the Alliance armor from the Warcraft movie is out on the floor. That looks incredible. I don't know how much money they spent on that movie, but it looks like a lot. And you know, I haven't even done a full lap yet, but there's a ton more stuff to see.
Have you got any distinct memories of Comic-Cons past?
No, because I was drunk for most of them, I think. I quit drinking a few years ago, but it used to be, back in the day, Comic-Con used to be around the same weekend as my birthday. My birthday's later in July.
Right.
And I would come down here with a bunch of reprobate friends of mine, and we would turn it into like a joint. Like, it would be San Diego, but it'd also be like a joint. It was me and another friend of mine had the same birthday, the same weekend. We'd come down here and basically just get totally bladdered. We spent most of our time just at Dick's Last Resort, getting totally drunk, doing karaoke, and then we'd come over here, and like Comic-Con was almost like the secondary attraction. So I don't have a ton of memories. I've never ever tried to do like the Hall H thing. Like, there's obviously some totally cool stuff. There's never been anything that's like so cool that I'm willing to stand in line for like 6 days to see it. That just seems totally mad to me. And it always ends up like, you know, leaking onto the internet a few days later anyway, so I'll just watch it that way.
I'd wait 6 days to see the Abomination movie.
You would wait 6 days? It might take us a bit longer than that to get it done.
But what can you tell us about the book? Where did the idea come from and what's it about?
It was originally an idea that I had for a film. You know, as a screenwriter, you know, I always kind of think of, if I have an original idea, I think about how to do it for a film first. And in looking at the idea, like, it's set in medieval England during the reign of Alfred the Great, but it's kind of an alternate version of that history where you have Vikings and you have like these historical battles that took place, but we've kind of flipped reality a little bit, and there's also like there's magic and there's monsters now that also coexist in that timeline, so it's like historical but fantasy, kind of all put together. And I thought, this is probably not the most commercial idea ever for a film, but I really wanted to tell the story, and so I thought, well, maybe write it as a book, because these days, even if you can't get a movie made, or if you can't find a publisher, you can just go to Amazon, press a button, you know, everyone can self-publish these days. I knew that the story would find an audience, but I ended up finding a great publisher, a company called Inkshares, that kind of does crowdfunding publishing, kind of like Kickstarter for books. And we crowdfunded the book, and we had a lot of people supported the book, so we were able to publish it. It just came out this week. I think it's good. You can get it on Amazon now, so if you look for Abomination on Amazon, it will pop right up. Like I said, it's got Alfred the Great, it's got magic, it's got monsters, it's got Vikings, it's got sex, it's got really gnarly, horrible, horrific. Like, did you like the John Carpenter movie, The Thing?
Of course.
Like, people horribly like splitting open and becoming like blood and guts and like heads, legs spreading out of heads. Like, we have all that shit. It's pretty cool.
Sounds to me like it would make a good movie.
Yeah, mate, it'd just be very expensive. That's the thing these days. But it doesn't cost me anything to write it down on paper. So I'm able to kind of do a very expensive movie, kind of for no money. And then if they want to make a movie down the road, that becomes someone else's problem.
And finally, what else have you got coming up? Is Rebels the main thing coming up, or is there other stuff going on?
So I'm working on Rebels right now. I'm also working on an adaptation of the Mark Millar comic book Starlight for 20th Century Fox that Simon Kinberg is producing. We just turned in the first draft of the script to the studio. It's a really, really cool concept. Basically, what if Flash Gordon got old? There's a Flash Gordon type character who saved the universe many decades ago, but now he's suddenly an old man and people have kind of forgotten about him. But then this rocket ship lands in his backyard, and it's like, you got to come back and do it all again. But now, like, oh, my back kind of hurts and I'm not as young as I used to be, and he has to go back and kind of save the universe as an old man. And so it's a really, really, really fun comic, really beautiful comic. Mark Millar obviously is amazing, you know, Kingsman, Secret Service, Kick-Ass, Wanted. This is like the latest one in that tradition. So I got to work on adapting that into a movie. That's really fun. I have a comic book coming out later this year called Oliver that I did with Derek Robertson, who's the co-creator of Transmetropolitan. That's kind of like a weird steampunk post-apocalyptic retelling of Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist. That's coming out through Image Comics later in the year. And honestly, I wish it was like 2 more days. I wish it was 2 days later, because there's 2 other things that I'm doing that I desperately want to talk about, but they haven't broken the news yet. But there's 2 other things that are really cool that hopefully in the next few days we'll be able to talk about.
Will we come and visit us again to talk about them?
Literally, if it like breaks unexpectedly tomorrow, I'll come back and talk to you. But I don't think it will.
That would be awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks for stopping by and being so generous with your time.
Thank you.
Sorry about the intro, but that outro was a bit better.
Well, you know, I think that's what makes it real, right? It's live. It's live television. You go holding up the book upside down. That was just classic. That's going to be on clip reels for years.
I'm going to lose my job over this. And thank you guys for watching, and keep it right here on IGN for all your Comic-Con needs.